I know what the heck is going on. All right, so let me hide this ticker. You think I would have done this? As per usual. As per usual, your girl is over here trying to figure out all the technological difficulties, but it's all good. Welcome, everyone, to today's live session. We're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. Okay, it's happening. That's what we're doing. Let's see. All right, so all right, it looks like all the things are working. Maybe. We're not sure. It could be, it could not be. I give up. Whatever. All right, so yes, I'm drinking coconut water. That's what I'm doing right now because I feel like it was necessary. I had this ridiculously large glass of coconut water with me. But hello, my name is Yanit Da Costa from YKMD, where we specialize in providing hassle-free graphic design solutions for event marketers and planners. But before we dive into today's topic, I want to apologize for my background. There's a lot going on. There's like a whole ladder. I don't even know how many feet that is. Like, it's crazy. I'm currently kind of like moving things around, doing some painting in my office. So bear with me as we go through this redecorating journey together. Anywho, let's get started. So I'd like to begin by discussing a recent incident that caught my attention. It was brought to me by Lindsay Martin Bilbrey. Actually, I'll tag her later, but I'll drop it in the comments or something. And where's my comment section? Okay, boom. And I feel like it's relevant to many of you. Like, have you guys heard about the I feel like, how does it pronounce? DevTernity, yeah, DevTernity Tech Conference, and like the controversy around it. How many have you guys have heard about? Feel free to drop in the comments. So it was reported by several sources, including like Skift, Yahoo, and Bloomberg Law, that this conference's organizer used AI to generate fake female speakers profiles, like fake female speaker profiles, to create the illusion of diversity. Mind blown. Like, I feel like this incident raises critical questions about the authenticity and like inclusivity just in like the events industry. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. So feel free to drop it in the comments. I want to hear all the things. Now, anyway, let's shift gears to our main topic today, which is access for all, right? So designing for inclusivity. And when I'm talking about designing in this specific context, talking about like graphic design. Back to my coconut water, guys. I'm really gonna be drinking this entire life. I'm gonna say you're Korean if you were Jamaican. Anyway, this is particularly important because just like how DevTernity's conference faced like that backlash for its like lack of genuine inclusivity, we as event pros also need to ensure that our event graphics are accessible and inclusive when we're talking about like our audience, like the people walking down the aisles, the people that are participating in our events. Like, are we actually communicating with them? Do they know what's going on? Whether it's in the booth, whether it's signage, whether it's advertising, like, are we actually creating a space where they feel like they can connect and receive the same kind of information? So designing for inclusivity means creating graphics that are accessible to everyone, including people with disabilities. And then this involves considering aspects like color, contrast, font size and, alternative text images or alternative text for images. For example, when choosing colors, you have to ensure that there's enough contrast between the text and the background so it's easily like read for those who have visual impairments. Like that's a real thing that people discount all the time. And so I kind of want to show you an example here. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up some like a graphic and I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna try for my IG people to put it in the center because I know it's like a lot different for you guys, like how you guys view things. Let me see. Share screen, share screen, share screen. Entire screen. You guys can like look at my window too. All right, boom. So this was the program for, or I think just part of the program for Future Fest. And essentially, I feel like we can like, number one, we can just kind of like check for color contrast using this amazing tool. I'll also drop the link for that for you guys. If you guys are on, what's this thing called? Instagram. Oh, boom, there it is. It's called the WebAIM Contrast Checker. So basically, we can take this. I'm just going to move this over here a bit. We can take these colors here. I'm going to go with this background color. I'm going to grab the hex code. And I'm just going to bump this and I'm going to drop it into the area that says background. And it's going to pull this. And then I'm going to do this yellow here. And I'm not even going to try to figure that out right now. That's just it's an old file, y'all. And I'm going to drop it here. And then when you go to this particular tool, let me move this to the center. So foreground color, background color, it basically gives you all the information about, the contrast ratio, normal text. So this would fail for like normal text, like things to read. But it passes when it comes to larger text and like graphic components. And if you look here in this example, this is like being used on a graphic component. So we're really good to go there. And so this is a really awesome tool that you guys can kind of use to optimize your event graphics and just make it accessible for persons who have visual impairments. I just think that's really important. So we really tried, it gives you like a whole explanation here and like what works and what doesn't work and all of that. So we try really hard to be mindful of that kind of things when we're designing on this end. And I just feel like sharing that with you guys is super important. So again, you want to look at that contrast, the contrast ratio, if it's below the recommended level. And this means we need to like adjust our color palette. And that's things that you kind of do when you're like building out the brand in the beginning, like the look and feel, like what works and what doesn't work. You want to test those from the beginning. Now, if you're working with just like general company brand colors, you also want to figure out like what works with what and what combinations will work when you're putting together the brand components versus just like, oh, well, this is what's in the brand guidelines. Honey, if people can't read it, then why are you doing it? Stop that. Stop that. Okay. Then we can evaluate for like font size. As I showed you, they have the example there of like large text versus small text or like normal text. And then is it legible for everyone, right? And then of course, lastly, for images, we ensure that there is, descriptive text. Like if and this is like we're talking about from on a digital platform. So if you're building out a website and you have images, like you want to make sure you have like your alt text to describe what is happening in this image so that if someone who is visually impaired needs to like read through something, that they're able to actually do that without, they're able to actually do that and actually be able to participate in your event because they actually know what's going on. And they know that you want them there because you have built the platform in a way that it provides information for them, which I think is super important. And then you want to make sure that the images are accurately represented in the description text, so the alt text, right? So that again, a screen reader can like go in there and use it. So I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I have seen some things recently that I feel like are like super hard to read, and I've had clients go, well, this was approved, so we're gonna go with it. And I think that's all good and gravy. And I'm not the one to fight people, especially I'm not trying to add lead time to approvals. I'm not trying to delay things going to print, but I think it's also really important for us as event pros to be mindful about these things when we're talking about just like designing things for inclusivity. But remember, inclusive design is not just about like meeting accessibility standards. It's about considering the diverse needs of our audience to create truly memorable and accessible events. So in a way, it's about being authentic and like genuinely inclusive, unlike what we saw with DevTernity conference. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. If you need assistance in creating accessible and inclusive event graphics, remember, YKMD is here to help. So feel free to reach out for our expert services. Until next time, keep designing inclusively. Oh my gosh. I keep forgetting that this thing has these new prompts. Anyway, I love it. Shout out to the balloons. See you guys next